what it's going to be, man. Period.
Hey, listen, why do you think Ryan waited this fight with Devin to expose the industry since he's never acted like that before?
Man, Ryan I told you, he had tried to fool everybody else. He's not a very good influencer, TikToker, activist, and all those things. He's a heck of a boxer. I expect him to come, just like Oscar said, he's coming to try to spoil the night on April the 20th, but we're prepared. Devin is a constant professional. He didn't let none of the bullshit, none of the antics disturb him. We've had a great camp up until thus far. And he's gonna punish him on April 20th for all this bullshit that him and his family have been doing.
Yeah, Ryan said recently that you and Devin became Muslims for clout. That's what it looks like to him. How do you feel about him, judging your...
Listen, Allah chooses who he wants to be Muslim. I don't know how many Muslims in here, you know what I mean, but if it's ever put on your mind or anything, it's Allah touching you. It's not any man or any woman, any cloud or anything like that. Allah makes Muslims, not men.
Yeah, Ryan shook Devin's hand at the press conference and apologized for dissing his religion. So why do you think he went back and re-dissed y'all, if that's a word?
Because it's the best thing that he can do to try to get a real professional off of his game. Because when it comes to matching skill for skill, work ethic for work ethic, Ryan is a clown in comparison to Devin. We haven't took a break. He hasn't had any kind of breakdowns of any kind of sort. So what else could you resort to try to get him off his game, other than politics and religion? Two of the things that we as people always argue about, and it will disturb you the most is someone's view on your religion or your political stance.
Hey Bill, here in the back, I don't know if you were what's up by the way?
Hey,
I don't know if you were asked this, I came in late, but what do you make of the stuff Ryan posted today on Twitter and like the back and forth he was having with Devin maybe like an hour and a half ago?
Like I said, Ryan's whole game is to be a distraction. I think that he's king distraction right now instead of King Ryan, and he thinks that that's going to either bring attention or relax us, so to speak. You don't get to be a 12 or 15-time amateur champion on an accident. You don't actually beat Devin Haney 3 times in an amateur and be an accident. He's a real fighter. He's going to come to fight. He has an arsenal, and one particular weapon he has is a goodnight Irene left hook that can put anybody to sleep. So we take him very, very serious, and come April 20th, he's going to be battered and bruised and beat up, and you know what I mean. And he's saying that I'm going to stop it. We're going to have to look for Henry or his wife to get in the ring to stop it. That's how I look at it.
Is he getting annoying at all?
Initially, I think I was slightly irritated by it, and I think that as we keep seeing more and more antics, I was more so irritated to the point that I didn't know whether to be sympathetic for him or to bash him publicly. You know what I mean? As time went on, I choose bash him publicly. He's a fraud. He's faking. He's not who he's saying he is. He's not going through all those things. You know what I mean? He's just trying to be a distraction to the fight, and it's not working. Come April 20th, he's gonna be beat up and bloody.
Hey, Shakur,
in the face-off, Devin mentioned that Ryan initially beat him by jumping out on him. Devin said he made the adjustment in the next fight. Ryan was like, "Yeah, you did." Yeah. And I remember you saying in the press conference, "Ryan, are you gonna come forward? Are you gonna come forward?" Is that what you expect him to do? And how much has Ryan improved or changed since the amateurs, since you've seen him in those 6 fights?
Well, I think when he, on his interview and his video, he counted out 5 fights. He said 2 and then 1, and then he left out that last one that we beat him as well. So I think Devin has also said that the early on fights when he didn't have as much of the experience, Ryan won, and then the later fights, Devin won. But that doesn't take anything away from on April 20th. Devin has to be on his P's and Q's and be very sure of himself, but also be aware of his surroundings because Ryan has a neutralizer.
I'm just curious what you thought about Ryan's shell in his last fight. as far as, you know,
I mean, you know,
stylistically?
listen.
What do you think about it? When you were watching it, what was going through your mind?
I mean, like I said, it was effective in the sense of he didn't get stopped. He actually ended up winning the fight. So that's all that matters. You move on to the next. So we can't prepare for the Ryan Garcia that you guys saw against Duarte. We have to prepare for the unseen. We have to prepare for a confident future Hall of Fame trainer in Derek James, trainer of the year, that he'll put together a great game plan. So we're working hard to be the best Devin that we can be, someone that surprises everyone.
And Shakur recently said that you never. Shakur. Listen. Hold on, listen.
God damn it.
He said recently that you never sent him any offer to fight, not even a 75-25 split, even though he was on tape admitting y'all did.
Well, how did anybody find out that we were even talking at all? That anything was on the table? Sean, did he bring it to the forefront? Did we hear from Shakur first and he said, "Lil bruh, you know I'm not taking that 25%"? Everybody? Did anybody remember that?
That sounds about right.
That sounds
I
about
can't
right.
recall, but
So
that
it wasn't us that came out to the media and left the negotiation on the table. If he wanted to counter the 25, if he wanted to ask for whatever, he stopped asking and came to talk to y'all. But I think they changed Twitter because of Twitterson and changed it to X.
Yeah, Shakur said the Ryan fight.
Here goes Shakur.
Listen. Hey, we got to cover all bounds. You know how we
Okay,
get
come
down.
on now, King.
All right, Shakur said that the Ryan fight is a circus. So why doesn't Devin fight him instead of Ryan, who's not focused and mentally not there? Stop the circus.
Hey, Shakur, why you didn't say all that shit before we signed to fight Ryan? Huh? Why you didn't say all that? Every time Devin got a fight, here come Twitterson. Here come Twitterson. I'm telling you, every time he got a fight, here come Twitterson. And even when we tried to negotiate with Twitterson, right? We tried to talk to him, he came back out and started tweeting. That's why they changed it to X.
Hey, Bill, Broner's going to be fighting Blair Cobbs, it looks like, coming up. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Look like Blair Cobbs is trying to steal some food off our table. Right? Shout out to Blair Cobbs and Broner. Broner definitely deserves to be in the ring. He's only lost to Manny Pacquiao, so let's keep him in the sense of that he is a future Hall of Famer, and I hope the best for him. I hope that he can come out and be a Broner of old. So when we take care of Mr. Garcia, that he is an option. But what if is Teofimo Lopez?
Your son said y'all had time to
Close,
break that just to make it happen.
yeah. The closest now, I think. Where's Teofimo at? And Senior, they ain't saying nothing. Where they at? I'm coming to that store looking for you, Senior. Yeah, you can't duck talking about you going to Honduras and you talking about another fight. When Devin tighten up Garcia, we looking for you, T.O. We're looking to unify.
How does that like realistically go down? You talk to Bob and it happens later this year, or like how's that play out if it could really happen?
You know, it can. What T.O. has to do is do the right thing. Come to the table. What happened to the meeting with Bob, T.O.? What's happening with the meeting with Bob?
Hey, listen. Do you think Floyd leaked the doghouse sparring video with Tank because of what you?
Goddamn
listen,
well
because of
Floyd
what you.
leaked the
Because of what you.
With Tank.
I'm just saying
he
because of
leaked
what
the
you
video.
said about him and sparring
He
with
didn't
Devin.
leak the video. He made the highlight film and then gave it to Ryan Garcia to leak it.
How come,
That's even
how
worse.
come they didn't show the end of the video? What happened at the end of that video?
Same reason why Floyd didn't show the video of Devin when he got in his ass. Devin is the last
Remember-
man. Listen,
Is that
I'm
okay?
gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you this one time. I guarantee you, after Floyd got in there with Devin, he rethought boxing from a professional standpoint and not an exhibition standpoint.
Because in LA, Ryan said, I seen the whole video, then the video come out, but we never got to see the end of the video.
It's locked up in Dollar Bill's office.
Bill, do you think like the back and forth with you and Leonard and Floyd, it'll get in the way of making a fight with Tank? You know,
because the people pay the bills. Leonard don't pay the bills. Floyd don't pay the bills. The people, all you guys pay for the fights. They can't. We don't dictate that. You guys put the bullseye on the fighter's back. Leonard don't dictate nothing.
But you know how personal feelings could get in the way of business sometimes, even when there's a lot of money involved. It's silly.
As long as the fans aren't personally involved in terms of that, you know what I mean? If they want to fight and they're paying for the fight, right? Then who can deny that? Whether what I say to Tank or whether I say to Leonard, who gives a? Really? Do you care?
No.
No. And you still want to see the fight,
Yes.
right? So Leonard can't stop it. He can just keep running his fat mouth. You dig? And I'm gonna keep running mine.
Listen,
What's
Tank,
your
Tank,
thoughts on Tank and Frank possibly being next?
Tank and Frank, I like that, right? No, it's a good fight. That's a good fight because you know I think Frank has been a constant professional. You know what I mean? He's waiting on his opportunity. You know, so if he spoils the party and takes Tank down, then so be it. You know, but I think that he's a professional. I'm a fan of his and Derek's.
Tank told Sean Porter and Hitchens he's going to move up to 140 to fight at 140 without a rehydration clause. What do you think about that?
Okay, so Tank told Hitchens.
Hitchens and Sean Porter. He told Sean Porter and Hitchens.
And is that right around the time Tank and Hitchens stopped being? I mean, Hitchens and Sean Porter stopped being friends with Tank for Tank saying that, or did Tank stand on it and say, "I actually told Hitchens and I actually told Porter that I'm moving up to 140"?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think I can answer it because I think it's third party, and if I do, Tank and them come out and say that they're not friends with Hitchinson no more. They don't like Sean Porter. What's the coin flip Kenny?
No.
Oh, coin flip Kenny that flipped the coin and said that it was going to be the Shakur or Tank. It ended up being Shakur because it was a two-headed coin that didn't have Devin's. It didn't have tails on it; it just had heads. And they still didn't stand on business, right? Right? Because they flipped the coin and it was heads or tails, and it was heads for Shakur, and they still didn't make the fight, and they still ain't talking about to make the fight.
I didn't know it was a double-sided coin.
No, it was a double-sided coin flip. Hey, listen, you can't trust coin flip, Kenny. I'm telling you, it was a double-sided coin because I knew that it was.
You've been around the block, Bill. You just know it.
I know coin flip Kenny. He's always flipping the narrative, saying this or that. He says everything but let's fight.
What about Subriel Matias? And what do you make of
The one-armed bandit himself, Subriel Matias.
What do you make about the aura of him being the boogeyman of 140?
How could you be the boogeyman? I made a call to his promoter, right? I came looking for him after the fight. His promoter said, I'll call you back on Saturday. I said, well, it's Tuesday. Why would you call me back on Saturday if you've been waiting for this opportunity for such a big fight? On Saturday came and went, and here we are now. I never heard anything back from any of them people.
Hey, listen, Tip.
But I do hear the one-armed bandit, you know, trying to learn some English. You got to get them cuss words together, man.
Bill, can Liam Paro go down to Puerto Rico?
Canelo a lot better than Matias right now. Canelo done got better.
Can Liam Paro go down to Puerto Rico and get rid of the one-armed bandit?
Well, Liam Paro has a neutralizer. He has power. I mean, Devin has been in the ring with him, but who's to say? It's going to be a tall task for Liam. I think those two styles kind of match up. They're more similar than different. So you know, it's not an opposite style matchup. So it's going to be a tough task for both fighters.
Teofimo said he wanted to fight. He wanted the fight.
Tio, you want to fight everybody, but Devin.
That's
what you want to
do.
do.
He wanted to fight for $20 million, but you know, because he's the A side. So is that what's holding the fight up? Because he believes he's the A side.
I don't want to say any money things. I don't want to deter Tio. Come on in the office, Tio. Just come on in the office. Talk to Bob. Let's get all the things together and let's make this thing happen.
Hey, Bill, you got a heavyweight now that might be possible for Jared Anderson?
Yeah, well, you know, Jared was picking on us, man, because he's a big old guy. So, I mean, I had to go get somebody. And Jeremiah walked in the building. Hopefully he can beat that heavyweight that we're looking for. He's tremendously talented. He has a good heart, hard worker, you know what I mean? And the sky's the limit. He could be a future champion for sure.
You also got Alicia in here, too. How did that link up? Just the whole.
Oh man, I mean, listen, I've been talking to the Queen for quite some time. She's a tremendous talent. She's something special in boxing, and I'm willing to work in any capacity with her. You know what I mean?
What do you make of the way Broner approached that situation when he went on social and started saying the things that he said?
Oh, he was totally disrespectful. You know what I mean? But that's nothing new. I mean, men, we kind of. You know, we can go back and forth with it. You know, I can shoot the shit with him. I can shoot shots at. I can take him. But I don't think that a woman deserves that kind of public,
Bill,
bullshit.
With how dominant Devin was against Regis, what kind of critique did you give him, or was there any to give out? Like, how do you criticize such a dominant performance? Like, what do you tell him? How do you, what did you see that maybe he can improve on?
It's always just, for us, is a better version of Devin. I mean, I think, and everyone can agree that each fight he gets better and better and better, you know what I mean? So I always say you can't prepare for the fighter that you saw last, and especially not with Devin, because of his work ethic and his trajectory. And right now, at 25 years old, the sky's the limit. Can
you tell a difference in his camps between that first fight at 140 and now this one?
Oh, absolutely, because of the maturity that he has. I mean, he has his legendary stories in the way that he's grown up, but I think that that'll attest to the way he performs as a champion now. A lot of this stuff he's seen before and been a part of.
Did you notice the narrative changed? The next day, Devin went from being pillow-fisted and, he don't hit hard, he dropped Regis, yes. And everybody went to analyzing your pay-per-view numbers, everything except
yes,
fighting, right?
Absolutely.
Your weight, how much you weighed in on fight night. Did you notice that's how dominant he was in his last fight? Did you notice that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I heard everything. I heard, Victor Conti's name. I've heard a lot of things, negative, you know what I mean? He was juicing and stuff like that, everything other than him actually maturing, actually having a chance to have 5 more pounds of lean muscle mass. We keep knocking down all the narratives, you know what I mean? It's been a long road to get here, but it's been well worth it for sure.
Canelo said if Ryan's 100%, then he thinks that he can beat Devin. Do you think that Devin is in a lose-lose situation because if he wins, people are going to say, just like Canelo, he's not 100%?
I think Canelo needs to get in camp with him and help him and not just talk from a distance if he feels that way, because he's going to need Canelo's help for sure.
What do you make of the fight happening this weekend with Pitbull and Rolly?
No, he has a great trainer in Derek James. But anytime that you have that much help, where you have Floyd, you have Canelo, you have Derek James. You know what I mean? You have a lot of guys that are supporting Ryan Garcia privately and publicly. You know what I mean? And I always tell them, come out the bushes. We know who you are.
Pitbull and Rolly, how do you see it?
I see the Chihuahua winning.
The Chihuahua, yeah? How so?
No, I'm not. I just talking about the dog, the Chihuahua.
Oh, you don't think Rolly's gonna win? Pitbull's gonna win.
No, I didn't call Pitbull or Chihuahua. But no, it's going to be a heck of a fight. I'm a fight fan, so. As much as Rolly talks shit, I'm still going to support the fight just because that's, I'm a fight fan. It's going to be a tremendous fight. Those are two styles that also make up for a great fight because they're more similar than opposite as well. I think that if Rolly doesn't catch him early on, I think that that Pitbull will wear with pressure, the mental pressure, and just, and physical pressure. I think that Rolly will fall apart.
You said Devin is matching up with Pitbull if Pitbull wins.
Huh?
How do you think about Pitbull matching up with Devin if he wins?
I always said that Pitbull was small, too small for Dev to oppose any real problems for us. But we need to see him at 140, maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? We need to see, because if it's any kind of indication that he could be better at 140 just like we are. So I just need to see him at 140.
You said Devin is the face of boxing. Why do you think Devin, or why do you believe Devin is the face of boxing when many people believe Canelo is?
Well, I mean, just one thing that I can sum it up is if you had a daughter or if you had a son and they could pattern their career in terms of just the beginning of their career and what that would look like, not the ending, because we can't determine what the end of Devin's career, but we can determine how he started and where he's at right now. No. And I don't think there's no mother or father that wouldn't want their son or daughter to pattern their career after Devin, being independent, you know what I mean, being undisputed at such a young age, 2 division, being able to work with various promoters on all platforms. That's why I said it's the face of boxing, because he doesn't have an allegiance to a promoter. He doesn't have allegiance to a network. He doesn't have allegiance to anything other than the fans. You know what I mean? And the acceptance of the fans. So with that, as you see a fighter that will go anywhere about the fights, and I think that's what the new face of boxing represents.
Then watch this. Y'all sent Loma, Ryan, Gary Russell, T.O., Shakur, and Gervonta offers to fight. Is that why Devin is the face of boxing?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying is that we don't sit back and hide behind the narrative that this promoter or that side of the street or that side of the street. You know what I mean? I think we've been on every side of the street at some point in time to make these things happen. So
Bill,
that's what the new face
Excuse me,
of
I'm
boxing
sorry.
should represent.
Who do you like in the battle between the two fighters that Devin already beat in Kambosos and Lomachenko later this year?
Of course, I like Kambosos and I like his family. I've grown to, I like him. I like the Australian fans and stuff like that. So I'm cheering for. I'm cheering. But I'm definitely cheering for, rooting for George, and not that crybaby Lomachenko.
Hey, what's your thoughts on Eddie Hearn saying that the Canelo versus Munguia will sell more pay-per-views than Ryan versus Devin?
Well, it just depends on. I think that we had a lot of momentum going into the fight, and Ryan initially, when we signed the contract, we thought that it was strictly boxing business. Ryan has chosen to be more active with his activism or whatever. You know what I mean? His personal. I don't know what the shit.
His wokeness.
Save the children.
With the antics and he might feel that that these are valid issues that he needs to address, but he's using an opportunity with Devin and him to make it happen. And I think that that was a cheap shot. That's some shit that no one expected, that you would take an opportunity, a fight where it's a complete grudge match, 3-3, and then you use that opportunity for your own personal issues that you want to champion. And through that, I think that we lost some momentum in the fight, but it's a real fight. And you know what I mean. I think that it'll make a statement.
How important, how big a factor is Devin's counterpunching going to be against Ryan, especially if he comes out aggressive like Devin talked about?
First and last. We don't want to just be counterpunching. You know what I mean. We want to be first to it and last to get it. You know what I mean. So that's what we operate on. You know what I mean. Devin is a high volume puncher. You know what I mean? He gets to it. I think we stepped to Lomachenko, and people were surprised. We stepped to Regis Prograis. People were surprised. And we're stepping to you, Ryan Garcia. And I don't think nobody going to be surprised, because I'm telling you, we coming for you.
Do you think?
What's your favorite scripture in the Quran?
My favorite scripture in the Quran? I would have to say favorite. You got me there in terms of a favorite one. I think that the one that's near and dear to me is the story where no one wanted to give a gentleman his shahada, and he had been accused of a lot of murders and a lot of stuff, and no one wanted to give him his shahada because they thought that Allah would not accept him into paradise. But it was different, because someone did give him his shahada, and they said that Allah accepted him into paradise. So it gives me the belief that you can really, you can change your life through God.
Do you think that Devin versus Ryan will sell more pay-per-views than Tank versus Frank Martin?
Do I think Devin and Ryan will sell more, and that will prove that Devin is a viable dance partner with anyone in the world.
What's your thoughts on Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? It's I don't know if it's an exhibition, but just the fact that some people are concerned about Mike.
You know what? I don't want to see anything happen to Mike, but he's a grown man. He knows more about this business than me, so I don't want to undercut his fight or undercut him getting some money. If he wants to do it, then do it. I just wish him well. And I'm a fan of Jake, so Jake having that opportunity is great as well.
Does he win, Mike? In your opinion, even at 58?
Of course. When you listen, it's hard to go against a skill set like that against Jake, who's quite inexperienced in comparison to the experience that Mike has. But with the age factor, it makes for an interesting night. And so be it. Good luck to the winner.
Would you be surprised if Jake knocked out Mike?
Oh no, I wouldn't be surprised. No, not at all.
Why not?
Because Like I said, it doesn't. We've seen what Jake does. Jake has an equalizer, and you know, we know that at that age, you tend to slow down. So the Mike Tyson that we saw with Roy Jones might be an entirely different Mike Tyson.
Now, just piggyback off of that, if he does knock out Mike Tyson, would you give him credit for that, or would you still kind of have like, well, it's Mike Tyson at 58?
If Jake
knocks him out, yeah.
Yeah, well, he knocked out a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. I'll give him credit for that. But if Mike knocks him out, then you know what I'm saying?
Why
Because, I mean, Jake, he made a bad mistake getting in there with him. I mean, you know, because he could opt to pick other influencers, you know what I mean, guys. So to pick someone like Mike Tyson, it takes balls regardless.
What was Mike like, you know, back in the Hit Factory days when he'd come through your gym? Like, I know now he's mellowed out, smokes weed, and what was Mike like back in the day?
Mike has always been a gentleman. You know what I mean? He always tells you what's on your mind. So you can count that when you talk to Mike, or at least me, when I talk to him, he gives me the real, and I appreciate that friendship over the years.
Hey, Bill, Joe Mikowski's no longer with DAZN. I know that you and your son have...
You sure? Is he not? I thought he is with them in just another capacity.
Oh, well, maybe you can educate me, because I guess what I was going to ask. Like, I saw that maybe he stepped down, or he's departed. You put something
parted ways.
Parted ways. So
Oh,
he is,
really?
yes.
Okay.
So just your initial reaction to the idea, because I know that Joe, you, and Devin had a great relationship when DAZN was established.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I wish Joe the best in his next business venture, whatever that might be. You know, but there's, you know, we work with whoever. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Joe is on his way to a Golden Boy. I don't know.
Bill, have you ever had a conversation with Al personally about
No.
making the Tank fight?
No, I haven't had a conversation with Al about Devin, or I haven't had a conversation with him about Tank. No, not at all.
You think that would get it across the line? Seems like, you know, Leonard and Floyd might be in the way, but Al might be the one to get it across.
I don't know. Have you talked to him?
No.
No.
So you never talked to Al?
That's the one
like-
with the business. They say, you know, everything goes through Al.
Well, they say if Al wants you, he gonna get you. So if he wants to make it happen, I'm sure that Al would have made it happen if that's what he wants to do. I think it's ultimately up to Gervonta Davis as being a boss, right, and saying, okay, Al, you know, this is what I want to do. And I'm sure Al is going to oblige him. He wouldn't hold him back from a legacy to find an opportunity.
You never
Yeah,
talked
you
to
did.
Al, like even when you were at Showtime, a little with the Showbox, there was never a conversation with you.
No, we dealt with Steven and Gordon Hall.
Bill, you get a lot of fathers that reach out to you, inspired by, you know, you and Devin's success. What kind of, you know, things do you tell, or what message do you have for the fathers and the sons that's grinding, the parents, the partners? What's your message to them, or what do they say to you? Like, can you share some of
Absolutely.
that?
Listen, when God gives you a vision, you know what I mean, you have to have faith and you have to stand on it, you know what I mean? And you can't listen to anyone else coming to tell you that you can't do it, you know? I had a vision. God gave me a vision that I could support and get behind Devin, that he was going to be who he is right now. And I didn't listen to any of the big three or big four promoters or anyone saying that you have to go their route or you have to do things their way. We did it our way, and I'm happy that the way things turned out.
Have you heard people call you the LeVar Ball of boxing?
I like LeVar. I like any man that has stuck in there and with their kids. You know what I mean? Like whether they're basketball players, boxers, or everyday people. You know, it takes some guts, and it takes being a real man to stay in the home.
I always hear you say, do it for your last name and not your first.
Do it for your last name and not your first.
When it's all said and done, what do you want them to say about the Haney name?
Say the Haneys came through here and kicked ass. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate